Hidden here. Charlie, a man about 17 years old, often went to a bar in London and met his friends for a drink. He liked a beer or two, and he also liked to talk and laugh. In the bar, he and his friends remembered the old days and told stories about when they were young. Charlie had one big problem. He couldn't hear anything in his left ear. When his friends spoke to him, they had to sit on his right. He couldn't hear anything because of an accident. He was quite young at the time. One day, in 1930, when he was a small boy, he was on a bus in Liverpool with his mother. The bus hit a car, and young Charlie hit his head on the floor. From that day, he could only hear with his right ear. One evening, Charlie was with his friends, Bert and Jack, in the London bar, and Bert told a good story about the old days. Charlie liked the story very much and began to laugh. He laughed and fell off his chair. He hit his head on the table and something fell out of his left ear onto the table. Bert took a small white thing from the table and said, "What's this?" "I think it came out of your ear." Jack looked at the white thing and answered, "It's a bus ticket." He looked again and said, "That's strange. It's a Liverpool bus ticket from 1930. Suddenly, Charlie said, "Oh, listen, I can hear in my left ear." "What?" said Jack. "I don't understand." "I couldn't hear with my left ear because the bus ticket was in my ear all the time," answered Charlie. They all laughed about the 1930 Liverpool bus ticket, and now his friends can see it on his right or on his left in the bar. Hidden here talk about Charlie, a man with 17 years old who was deaf on his left ear, and one day he met with his friends in an old bar to talk and drink a couple beers. There he remembers that in 1930 he had an accident when he was very young with his mother, and he hit his left ear and become deaf from that ear. Moments later, when he was talking with his two friends, Bert and Jack, he accidentally hits the table, and they realized that a ticket came out of his ear. And when the ticket falls, he realized that he can hear, and that all this time he was deaf because he had the piece of paper, the ticket. That's all.